Welcome students to ND's English Grammar channel on YouTube. In this video I have for you some special usages of ought to plus present verb and their meanings, and then ought to plus present perfect tense verb and their meaning. Ought to plus present verb is used for giving advice, for duty, for expectations in the present and in future. Number 1, you ought to eat more vegetables for a healthy diet. Means it is good or it is advisable for you to eat more vegetables. It is more advised form. Number 2, he ought to apologize for his rude behavior. It is also advice, or you may take it as suggestion. Number 3, we ought to leave early to avoid traffic. This is a suggestion, strong suggestion. She ought to drink more water every day. This is advice or suggestion. Number 5, they ought to study harder for the upcoming exams. This is advice or suggestion for future. Number 7, the government ought to provide better health care, expressing necessity on the part of the government to provide better care, health care. Number 8, she ought to practice piano regularly. This is necessity, expressing necessity, and it is also both advice and suggestion form. Number 9, parents ought to spend more time with their children. It is strong obligation, advice. Number 10, he ought to exercise to stay fit. That is necessity and obligation, strong obligation. So students, you have seen ought to plus present verb, that is ought to plus adjective or noun, then infinitive. This format expresses present or future expectation, advice, duty. These are quite important. Please follow this type of students for your speaking and writing. Now ought to plus present perfect. This expression is used for regret or missed obligation in the past. Here reference is to the past tense. It is expressing obligation, your duty, or some regret because you did not do or things did not happen like that in the past. Number 1, you ought to have studied harder for the test. Means you did not study hard for the test. He ought to have apologized earlier. It was his duty to apologize earlier, but he did not do that. Number 3, they ought to have arrived by now. It was due that they should arrive by now, but they have not arrived. She ought to have called before coming. This was also necessity, but things did not happen. Number 5, we ought to have taken a different route. It was necessary for us, but we did not take the route. Number 6, he ought to have helped his friend in need. It was his duty, but he did not help. Number 7, the teacher ought to have explained the topic better. It was his duty, but he did not do that. Number 8, you ought to have checked the weather before traveling. It was necessity that you should check the weather before traveling, but you did not do this. Number 9, she ought to have saved more money for her future, but she did not do that. Number 10, they ought to have listened to the warnings. It was very important for them to listen to the warning, but they did not do that in the past. So ought to plus present perfect expresses past regret and past obligations which did not happen, did not take place. So students, I hope this will help you to write special kind of sentences, expressions. Please watch out for more videos like this. Subscribe to ND's grammar channel on YouTube. Thank you.